Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Francine, and thank you for joining me in my channel, The Hermetic Herald, where I touch base on celebrity tarot readings and also readings for the collective. So if you're new here, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for just having the curiosity. Maybe the thumbnail caught your eye. I hope that you get a lot from this message. I also do want to thank the people that have been with me, that have decided to kind of walk through this journey with me. There's been a lot of growth in the past month or so since I started doing celebrity tarot readings. So I think that's a sign that things are going in the direction that they should. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate seeing all of your comments, all of the love, all of the support. It makes my day. So thank you guys so much for coming in. I hope that what comes through is for the highest good of all. May it be for the highest good of all the celebrities that I touch base with today. So I feel like what I do best is free flowing, and what I also want you guys to know about me, if you're new, is that I am clairaudient primarily, as well as clairvoyant. So I will be touching base on messages that I receive from spirit, from my spirit team and my ancestors. I felt the need to touch there, so I don't know, there's a number of them over on this side. And I love to touch base with the spirit team of the celebrities I also get into and talk about. So we're gonna see what comes through. So today we're going to be touching base. You've already seen the title below, but we're going to be touching base with Rami Malek and Lucy Boynton. I want to see what the energies are with regards to them, because I feel that card strongly. And we're going to just touch base with a couple of things here. So let me just get my notes. All right, we're going to touch base on the aura surrounding the situation. 1, areas that need more attention. What are their areas for growth together? What should they pay closer attention to and kind of sharpen on in the sense of their friendship and going forward, as well as what is the most likely outcome for these people? So for these two, I know that they're not together. So this spread is going to look a little bit different. It's going to be looking at the past and then looking at what they can expect with the future. So looking at what happened in their situation at the time that they were together, just want to clarify, and then looking at what they needed to focus on when they were together in the past, okay? So I already know about, Rami Malek and him, not being in a relationship with Lucy anymore. So let's see what's going on. So I feel like this is going to be the areas that needed more attention when they were together. What are their areas for growth together, Spirit? What are their areas for growth? Whoa, that flew out. Okay. Oh, let's talk about that later. What should they pay closer attention to, Spirit Team? What should they have paid closer attention to when they were together? Okay. There's 2 of those for that. And then what was the most likely outcome for them at the time? What could have been the trajectory for these two, basically? Potentials. So we're just going to look at the potential for them. And whether that will tell us whether there's a potential of even something happening again. Because you know, as well as I do, that sometimes breakups happen because of some misunderstanding between 2 parties. Whatever is for their highest good is going to happen, because I feel like they're independent energies with the Queen of Wands coming out the bottom of the deck. But we'll see if anything is going to be revisited in the future. That's totally fine. That could be what's going to happen. So with the aura surrounding the situation, let's get into it. What is the aura surrounding this current relationship, surrounding them at the time? Was strength. What's interesting is that Rami Malek got this when I did his reading with Emma Corrin. So if you guys haven't seen that, you can definitely check it out in the top right corner. I'm going to be putting it in there. But strength is what was surrounding them before the breakup. So there was like a sense of them trying to tough it out, trying to have the self-control, having the determination, the strength of their will to keep this afloat. So they were trying. Okay, Spirit wants to highlight that they were definitely trying. What I'm hearing also is 4, 5, 6, sequential order. So things naturally led to this outcome. They were trying to resist the likely outcome in the past of this not working out, and they were trying to put their will into it to force it to slow down. Things were not slowing down enough for them, and they were recognizing that the relationship was not meant to last, but they were really trying to focus in on making it work, making it last here. Okay, so strength is the aura surrounding this current relationship. What are the areas that needed more attention, Spirit? We have the Eight of Swords, instability in their mental state, having a lot of doubts, having a lot of insecurities that needed to be addressed. So there were a lot of fears here. They were keeping themselves like tied up in some energy of wondering how they could get out of a situation but not finding the way. So they were having some kind of impasse where it was causing them more turmoil in their mental state, and they weren't able to see a way out of this. This could be a lot of confusion between them towards the end of the relationship. Confusion about where to go, what the path has for them, because this person's blindfolded, so they're not able to see ahead of themselves, to see that they're not actually stuck. If they were to open the blinds and just take that off, they would see that they could walk right out of it, but they felt surrounded. This is mental instability, okay, at its finest is what I'm hearing. There was just a lot of like doubt and fear creeping into the relationship. Why? We will see. What were their areas for growth together though? Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles was their area of growth together, generosity. So there's something about not having enough. Someone in this relationship didn't feel like they had enough of something. And I feel like with the Pentacles coming through for where they needed to grow, it was seeing the value, or seeing the, I'm hearing property, like seeing truly how fulfilled they could be. And it was like individual. It was an individual thing. Each of them didn't feel like they had enough to muster up to bring like abundance to this relationship. So they were dealing with some instability, either with their finances or instability with how they felt or perceived their own abundance. And that was causing a lot of doubt, insecurities, fear of their, like whether they could amount to much together. The Queen of Pentacles is someone who sits on her throne. This sits on their throne and actually watches things come to fruition for her, because she's already done. And now I say her, but it can mean anyone. So just going off of the energy with the feminine energy, it's like being willing to go through all the pentacles to get to this place of going through, working hard, getting all of your finances in order, getting your legacy, like working on your legacy. Something here was not growing in regards to their legacy or regards to their career path. They were feeling like they weren't quite getting the best out of what the situation was like. That could say that they just didn't feel like they were stable enough emotionally and also financially. So they need to grow with their idea of abundance individually. There was something about lack mentality between the two of them. Like they didn't have enough, therefore they had to get more. But they needed to find that in themselves. They were like trying to like maybe latch on to each other. We'll see in the other cards coming through. But yeah, I'm feeling the bottom of this deck is important. Yeah, the Queen of Wands energy. They needed to be in more of the Queen of Wands, the High Priestess energy. Of seeing the Nine of Cups, of seeing like generosity, of seeing like what it means to truly be abundant and happy. That wasn't coming through for them the way they wanted it to. What I'm also feeling is that this card has something to say, the World. It's how they fit in the world. They felt like they weren't quite enough for each other, or felt like they had a lot to bring to the table. And there's this sense of like, there needing to be a new beginning or a fresh start. I don't know if they tend to like making fresh starts or starting over a lot, but there was something about this cycle ending because they felt like they were stuck or stagnant. Okay, interesting. So what should they have paid closer attention to as well? We have the Knight of Cups and the Five of Swords. They choked out a lot of love that they had for each other in the beginning. And the choking, what happened was, what choked out the love that they had between each other in this relationship was conflict mentally. I feel like they went through mental conflict a lot. When you have the Eight of Swords for what needed attention, and then you have the what needs growth, or what needs to be paid attention to, as the Five of Swords. It's a lot of swords. They were having conflicts that were choking out the love that they had for each other, to where it wasn't balanced anymore. It was like they were fighting more than they were actually like loving each other, or spending time like doting on each other, loving, just being around each other. It was more so conflict. And this is from their like emotional, like this is personal stuff that they were dealing with that affected the relationship. It was like their own understanding of their abundance, their own understanding of their worth. I feel like that took a blow along the way. Yeah. So they started choking out the love that they had for each other. I don't know why I'm getting October 16th. So Spirit likes to talk to me in like dates, like giving you tangible dates to remember. October 16th is going to be significant for one of them. So keep me posted. I'm going to be looking into that as usual. Since I'm doing this channel, I'm going to be looking at every other day. So we'll see. But what was the most likely outcome for the relationship or the trajectory? We know it happened, but where was it leading, and where is it leading? Because this is not necessarily something that has to be over, but this is just going to be the outcome that we can see based on their trajectory, what decisions they're making. The Five of Cups. That was Rami Malek's energy from the last reading. He felt like he had lost more than he had gained. He's looking at his cups, and he's looking at the outcome for both of them was loss. And that makes a lot of sense with the relationship. So that is Spirit confirming to you that that was what was meant to happen. Naturally, when you're fighting and you're choking out the love you guys have for each other because of instability in your mental space and of perceiving what you thought was enough, typically, I'm going to just say this because I feel like this is their situation. Typically, when someone is always complaining about the other party and about what they're not doing for them, typically it could be that they really are in need of, that person's not supplying those needs or like addressing certain things. But sometimes it's out of the lack in your heart or lack in yourself. When you have a lack of something like self-worth in some instances, or you have a lack of accountability for yourself, sometimes you end up putting too much on one person, and that causes the conflict. So I'm feeling like someone was not stable or grounded emotionally, and they depended on someone else to make them feel that way. And that affected the relationship here in the dynamic. And I'm feeling a feminine energy, so I'm feeling like Lucy is involved with that one. And sometimes it's like fear, right? I don't know her past because I purposely kind of ignore anything I hear about the two of them. I usually like to touch base on their energies while I'm doing their reading and then talk about them or look into them. So that has been working well for me. What I feel really strongly without knowing her is that there's something about her like feeling like bored or feeling like there was something lacking in a relationship, but it was because of the relationships prior, and kind of like feeling like she was too settled, or feeling a sense of like, you can give me more, you can give me more, I want more, I expect more from you. And I feel like it wasn't sound, like it was like she was asking of him. And I feel like there's this energy of being like too much into this energy of like, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, but not doing it for yourself. So like expecting something of someone, and it resulting in a lot of sadness. A lot of like harsh words were said, a lot of like biting words. There was a lot of sadness at the end of the road. They felt like they had lost so much in this relationship. Wow. So that's what we have for their energy in this dynamic. I'd like to touch base with Moonology card for them. What is their advice going forward? I'm going to touch base on them individually. So what is, wow, I feel this card really strongly. What is it for, Spirit? Interesting. They want me to do a card for Emma. I'm going to just look at Rami Malek though, and then I'm going to look at Lucy Boynton, okay? So they want to touch base on all three of them. So someone here needs to watch the other video I did. That's really interesting because that wasn't what I expected, but we're going to go with it. So what they wanted to talk about with regards to Emma in this reading is a new start is coming. Wow. New moon. So this is about them together, Rami and Emma. There's a new start coming. I feel strongly like there's something there with them. Okay, so this is like them saying, this is old energy. This is like moving on. I feel like Spirit's trying to say like they really are have moved on from each other. Okay, and I feel as though this is an ancestor talking, because they actually are just kind of tired of this and they want me to move on. So they're like, talk about Emma, talk about Emma, and I'm like, okay, all right, here's Emma. They want him to move on, so something about Lucy is coming through. And I'm not trying to be like pinning it on one person, because it takes two to divide. Like it takes the decision of both, right? It really just takes one person to say no, but I'm just letting you guys know it's definitely her energy is coming out as something that was involved with this. So we have with Lucy, have faith in your dreams. There's probably some dreams and goals that she has that are not in alignment with him. Okay, so her guides are saying, have faith in your dreams, girl. Do what you want to do what you feel is right for you. Now I don't know her pronouns, but I just heard that like statement, like just do you. So they're encouraging her to continue on in her dreams. With Rami Malek, I'm getting step out of your comfort zone, North Node. So here's the thing, Lucy Boynton for him was someone in his comfort zone. He felt comfortable with her, mad comfortable is what I'm getting. He felt like she was home, or like she was like a friend, family, all of that wrapped into one. And I think what they're trying to say is, yeah, that felt nice, but look what happened. Even you can't calculate the steps that you'll make and say that that's what you need. What you need is not always what is easy, okay? Someone here needs to hear that. What you need sometimes, not saying it needs to be toxic, it just doesn't need to be easy. I feel like some people think that everything about relationships should just come naturally, and that's not always the case, because I feel like the person you're with should show you something about yourself and really allow you to open up to all the things that you don't want to see. Because if you don't see them, you'll just act like you're all good, but we all need healing. So he's stepping out of his comfort zone here. And he's going to receive healing, because he's going to see things in other people, and specifically Emma, that he didn't see coming. And it's going to be something that opens his eyes and actually places him in the trajectory of his dreams. I got goosebumps saying that. I don't even know how to show you guys, but yeah, like this is, his trajectory is to go towards his North Node, whatever that is. Astrologically, I don't know what that is. I feel tempted to look it up. Okay, so I have this search engine here, Astro Charts for celebrities. So let me just check base with him. Accuracy is excellent, okay? So let's see what his North Node is. His North Node is in Leo, 5 degrees 32. So 5 degrees, Leo. It was in retrograde. So I believe that's what the R means. But his North Node is in Leo. Let's see what Emma Corrin's sign is. All right. She's a Sagittarius. She has like, wow, a lot of Capricorn placements. She's going to be teaching, she has a lot of insight in regards to work. This person is like, I keep getting girl for people here. She's going to have so many like ventures that she's going to be really successful at. So I may do a reading on her. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. But she has, her sun's in Sag. His North Node is in Leo. Fire energy coming out the gate. So I feel like this is a good start for him. Whatever happens, may it be for their highest good. Okay, so let's look at their archetypes here. So her North Node is Libra. I believe Rami's, let me see, Rami's is a Taurus. Nice. Who is his force spirit? It's for the Taurus, is what they said. All right, thank you. So let's see. What light attribute would you like to show for Lucy Boynton spirit there? What karmic attribute would you like to address for, okay. What karmic attribute would you like, okay. We got it. All right, so his light attribute here, just so that you guys get an idea of who this person is, who Rami is, into a deeper sense. Gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in professional and personal life. Respect for both sides of an argument. He's a very balanced individual. What's interesting is that Emma Corrin, just going to say this, is a Libra North Node. Balance is something that he is like, his attribute is really, he's really good at. He brings balance and fairness to a relationship, to a professional and personal life. His karmic attribute, though, is athlete, okay? He misuses athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. Sometimes he feels like he has to be very strong for people. And that's coming from a place of invulnerability. That also comes from a place of entitlement, right? Of not like seeing your personal willpower and seeing that it shifts, it goes up and down. You don't have to always be strong for everyone, Rami. I feel like he needs to dedicate to transcending the physical and not focusing on the physical aspects of his abilities, but looking at like all of it, the mental space, his acuity in his mental space, and how he can take on challenges and exceed the limitations. He just, everyone has light and dark, so this is not something that has to stop or prevent him in any way. It's just something he has to check or check in with, okay? So for Lucy, we have guide. Wow. So they both have a very strong energy here. Represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. She talks, so I'm feeling, when I see this, I feel like the nature of the divine in life. Wow, she sees the beauty of things. She sees like how everything is so important. She almost feels like she's into like astrology. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like she's really interested in like how things come about and the meaning behind it. Very thought-provoking in her energy here. Very thought-provoking. So she represents the nature of the divine, and what I feel like with the owl is that she tends to do things in the background. She tends to not, she doesn't try to force herself to be out in the spotlight. She likes to show and guide people in the dark. She would be a really good, great person for like healing, going into like darker aspects of life, addressing things in life with people. Really guiding people as it stays in a lot of like spiritual aspects. If she were to do like a show or something where she talks about like spirituality or talks about like going through certain cycles of life, I think she'd be really good at it. Okay, and then we have her karmic attribute as prostitute, places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. She's more so like, what's interesting is I believe she had a bunch of Capricorn placements. She thinks about money a lot. She thinks about what brings her wealth and prosperity and what brings her abundance. Now, don't get caught up in the title, because that's not even like the extent of what this means, because there's a good attribute or light attribute about this. But she's in the karmic with this, or shadow. So she needs to be careful of like taking on certain jobs and such for the money and not for like her spiritual, like her intuition. Something about that. I think she has a lot of plans for her life, and I feel like she has a lot of passions, and I think it was better for her to be out of this relationship in order to express or to execute those things. You don't have to be alone. That's not what I'm saying, but I feel like she is like this. Your hard work is paying off. This is in Capricorn, guys. She really has a lot of things that she wants to do. Expect powerful change, and conclusions are within reach. It was time for this to happen. Believe in the impossible. It's like there's more to life for them. There's more to this dynamic than this. So it's like it was meant to happen for them. But yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Anything to support this information getting out so that people can see it in the algorithm. I feel like when you're starting out on YouTube, it's so difficult to get this message out. You could have like so much in-depth information, and then people will not see it because it's like the algorithm isn't there. So definitely share and like and comment on what you really liked about this reading and what resonated based on what you know about them. Also, feel free to subscribe for exclusive content, because I'm expecting to have a lot of messages come through on Buy Me a Coffee, as well as information and insight for your situation through personal readings. So I have my books open for the month of September, and I'm really excited to get into it. So definitely reach out if you feel drawn to my energy and to this channel, and I hope to see you guys soon. Take care.